Can everybody hear me? Can someone mention in the chat if you can hear me okay? I'm also testing a new microphone today, so I want to make sure that all is functioning properly. Excellent. Thank you very much. How's everybody doing today? I want to give this a few minutes. I'm just making sure everything is going to focus properly and work properly. What's the lag? I've got it. I'm seeing what's happening now live up here, and then I've got it running over here. And okay, so we're looks like about 30-second delay. All right. So this is it. This arrived on Monday, and again, I'm pretty excited to test it out. I've got a setup in here. You know, I didn't actually measure the proper dimensions, but I think it's going to work perfectly where I will be able to set it on my back surround speakers because they're close enough together in this configuration. And I've got a little board to bridge if necessary, but that will position it directly below my JVC NZ700, which will put them at exactly the same throw distance, give or take an inch or two. And I think that'll be good in terms of, you know, getting a fair comparison. Today, I'm just going to be doing kind of the unboxing, the setup. I'll walk through kind of what's in this really nice case. And, you know, I'll get it up and I'll get an image on the screen and mess around in the menus a little bit. I'll align it and focus it and get it kind of ready to go here in my room. I'm not going to do any of the official like back and forth, but I'll go through what my process is going to be in terms of recording off the screen, kind of the AB between the NZ700 and the XGIMITITANNoirMax. I think I've got a pretty good system where I'll be able to show a pretty fair and even comparison as well as you can by filming off of a projection screen. But then the next step is I think I'm going to pack it back up and take it over to Chris Deering's house and let him, we'll configure it in his room and actually, you know, let him take some measurements in comparison to his JVC NZ900. So, and we might, you know, he has several different screen material swatches out there that we can test as well, just to see if there are any that perform better with this projector or not. So yeah, that's really about it. Thanks everyone for joining us here today. We got a few of you in the room now. I know it's a Wednesday, middle of the day, but I couldn't wait till this weekend. I wanted to get, I've been waiting to unbox this thing and get it out and see what it looks like on the screen. And as you can see, well, maybe you can't quite see, but it is still sealed. So I'm going to just break that seal. This is just a really nice box. I wasn't expecting this when I opened up the outer packaging, but I'm very glad it was in this because the bottom of the cardboard packaging really felt like it had been sitting in some water for a little bit and was pretty soft and crushed up. But the projector is double boxed. The inner box was you know, much better condition, and this case that it ships in or stores in or whatever you want to say, this is in perfect shape. So here is the projector. any chance, sorry, I have to look over here to see comments. Any chance you will be able to test 3D? I do not have 3D glasses. I'm not a fan, but if I can find someone in the area who does have some compatible glasses, I will absolutely run some tests with it. I'll have to bypass the Lumigen for that, but I will absolutely do that. If I can find someone in the greater Seattle area who wants to work with me on that and provide some glasses and some software. All right. So let's get this bad boy out of the box. This, like I said, this is just a really nice, unexpected case. So I've got the projector here, inputs on the back. I'm going to set it down on the floor for a moment and get the accessory box out of the bottom. Okay. Gosh, that's really well designed too. This is actually a nice box. I'm excited about this little carrying case, really, because we have some friends in the neighborhood who have a rooftop deck, and we may actually take this. And I have a Kaleidoscape Strato M coming in here in the next month or two. That just pair that little bad boy with, load some movies on it, pair that with this, and have a really nice, quick outdoor movie night. So take my glasses off so I can see what's up close to me now. Yeah, so it's, they've got these legs are adjustable for leveling or slightly raising it up and down. I'll turn it around here. You can see on the rear of the unit, have the power and optical audio input, USB, another USB. One's black, one's blue, and I just learned that one of them means it basically meets the USB 3.0 protocol, and the other one does not. I don't remember which one's which. 3 HDMI inputs, one of them with eARC, has an audio output, I'm guessing, just a little 3.5 millimeter, a LAN connection for internet, and your power button. This, like, one of the things that I am most excited about is this does not have a smart OS on it. This is just focused on the display itself. I, for one, am not a fan of pretty much every TV being a smart TV. Give me a dumb TV and just focus on the image quality. I don't like having to skip through all of that kind of stuff. So I appreciate that this is just focused on the display. So let's spin it back around. You can see the audio is tuned by Harman Kardon. And if I take that off, it's so satisfying. This is IMAX Enhanced certified. Please remove the protective film that is 100% covering the lens before use. And avoid staring at the lens while it's on. I think I can handle that request. Let's set this back down for a little bit and see what's in the accessories box. All right. So you have the instruction book. Pretty substantial power transformer brick. That's the remote. This is the other side of the power cable, batteries for the remote, nothing in there. Pretty basic set of accessories. I like the remote. It's got a nice feel to it. They don't always have that. So I bet that is to release the battery compartment. Spring-loaded bad boy. Let's put batteries in. How's that sound? How's everybody doing today? Are you having weather where you are. It's been really nice here in Seattle the last couple days, but it's rainy and a little muggy today. So I've got a window open down here. We'll see how long that lasts. All right. Batteries back in. It's like buttons are backlit. Well, the 6 primary buttons here are backlit. Looks like there are shortcut 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons, mute. I'm assuming that's power. Looks like a record button up here, but I'm going to guess that's power. Those are not backlit on the top. And then the plus and minus, which are likely volume plus and minus, are also not backlit. But it's a nice minimalist remote. I like only having the buttons you need. I tend to be a turn it on, select the movie, press play. I don't like to do a lot of tweaking of with the remote on a day-to-day basis. So I'm perfectly fine with having fewer buttons to confuse the 364 days of the year that I'm not actively configuring the projector or whatever device it might be. So let's get a couple of these things out. So in terms of my testing, like I said, today I'm just going to be connecting it, getting the menu up on screen, and we'll be moving the camera around a little bit so you can see what I'm working on, what I'm doing. And once this live stream is over, what I will be doing is I've got a couple of presets on my Lumagen that remove all of the tone mapping and image enhancement. So literally all it's doing is scaling the image to my screen. So scope screen, it'll handle auto aspect ratio configuration. Thank you very much. Constant image height. So it will scale down 16 by 9 or, anything narrow, anything taller than 2.40. It will scale it down to fit to the top and the bottom. And then I have masking for the side panels. My camera that I'm using is a Blackmagic 6K full frame camera, and it films in RAW and has extra dynamic range in the recording. So what I intend to do, I've got a Kaleidoscape script with some test clips on there, some kind of torture tests, some things that I'm just really familiar with, things with a lot of motion, things with a lot of dark scenes, bright scenes, very contrasty, lots of good color, things like that. If you have a specific clip that you want to see side by side, let me know in the comments here. And if I have it, I'll add it to my Kaleidoscape script. And what I plan to do is just set up the camera completely manual and play through that script with one projector on. And then I will play through, without adjusting the camera at all, I will play through the script with the other projector. And then when I'm editing, I can put them side by side, and I can also then adjust the ISO of the clip itself so that I can bring them to the same brightness level so we can see that comparison, because the XGIMI has pretty much twice as many or more than twice as many, more than 3 times as many lumens, probably about twice once it's calibrated as the JVC. So it will very much likely be brighter. My JVC has been calibrated by Chris Deering, but all of that calibration is done in the Lumagen. So the presets that I have will remove that, and I'll set them both to filmmaker mode for my testing. So that way we should be able to see a pretty equal comparison without any, one or the other having any sort of advantage. The JVC calibration in there is essentially leveling it all out for, setting the white point, essentially. The white point and the, as much output as it can get at that white point. So I will do the same with this, put them both on filmmaker mode and see how they compare. All right. So sorry, I started talking and started slacking. So let's get the other part of the power brick out, or the actual power brick. Here's my knife. Make sure I don't cut the cable. So I'll get this out, and then I will, at this point, I'm going to see if maybe, if it works the way I think it might. This is my first live stream directly on YouTube. So I'm learning the capabilities. I've done stuff like this, through various software before when I'm not on camera as well, but this was the easiest way to do this for today. So let's see here if I can do, and can I switch my camera? No, unfortunately, doesn't look like I can switch my camera on here. So I'm going to catch up on the comments quick. Pretty sunny in the UK. Enjoy it. Get outside, but not until this is over. Kevis, how's it going? I'm on hey, if you're not following Kevis Films on here, he's got a great channel. Follow it. It's really, really great content. He's very, very well thought out content, high quality production. I'm pretty sure he's using Blackmagic cameras, at least he used to. Kevis is on a plane back to Atlanta. This is better than the in-flight entertainment. Well, I appreciate the compliment, but I don't know if I can I don't know if I could say that. I've seen some pretty good films on planes. My main worrying is the deep blacks. It doesn't seem to always kick in. The classic space stars show that. Might be fixable over firmware update. The demo video. Yeah, I would say also that the JVC full fade to black, it can be hit or miss depending on the setting. And I know, a lot of folks, Chris Deering included, tend to leave that feature off. So that's not an issue that is exclusive to any one projector. So take that for what it's worth. All right, let's see how I'm gonna do this. I didn't plan very well for this camera move, but I apologize if you see my belly or my messes that are around. Another point worth making is that I fully intend to turn off the back speakers that it's going to be resting on for testing, just to make sure there's no vibration being introduced into the image. So never fear on that. And yeah, it would probably fit. It's a little tighter than I am comfortable with. So I'm going to put this up here. Center it. That it was just right on the inner edges of the speakers, and that was making me a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm going to line up lenses, and I'm going to bring this forward a little bit. That's within an inch either way. How's that? Y'all happy with that? I'm going to move it back for today. I'm going to make sure the center of weight is over the speakers back here. I will move the speakers and everything out into the room to get them at the same plane here. You can't see any of this, can you? I will make sure they're on the same plane, the same distance from the screen before I do any testing. For today, I'm not going to bother moving the speakers out yet. I'm just going to leave it like this. All right. So let's get this bad boy connected. This is great, isn't it? I should have set up another camera. If y'all give me some super chats, maybe I'll buy a little ATEM switcher and set up another Blackmagic camera. And then I can switch between them live. I have several Blackmagic cameras. I'm definitely a fan. I use them for my concert film production, but I do not have an ATEM switcher because I just record directly in the cameras and then edit from that. So budget. All right. It's powered on. Don't want to drop that. It's not cheap. That is absolutely true. Yeah, I think, back to that whole discussion we were having about the fade to black stuff. The JVC has 3 settings for how aggressively it fades. A lot of it is also just due to content. Not having good clean blacks can trip it up. If it doesn't drop below a certain point, the JVC isn't necessarily going to think that it's supposed to be black. All right. So let's see. First thing I want to do is I'm just going to turn the projector on. I might need to read the book. I bet I need to turn it on and sync the remote first. So turn it on. Let's see. I've got power cables and light cables and tripods and light stands. I'll try and get this somewhere where you can see something with regards to what I'm doing. How's that? That's better, huh? All right. Oh, I'm gonna spin this around. All I did was power it on, and it is currently trying to find where my screen is actually located. Didn't find it. Press any button on the remote to start pairing. See, I told you. I will press that button. Remote control is connected. All right. I'm going to turn off my light here. And I'm going to get my glasses. Every time I say my glasses, I feel like Velma. My glasses. Somebody stole my glasses. Okay. So let's get through this first little bit of setup. And then trying to take the film off of the remote keypad. There we go. It doesn't like me setting it for English. It's allowing me. Oh, here we go. It says English selected. Go to next step. I don't necessarily know if this is. I'm going to actually do Wi-Fi later. When I'm on the screen. Skip. Yeah, we'll jump over this for now. I want to get the image on the screen first. Okay, so the projector is now powered up. I'm going to do these things very slowly to make sure that everything syncs correctly. But I'm now going to turn trying to see which HDMI input is which. Need flashlight. Do I think this unit can compete with $6,000 to $7,000 US projectors? That's what I am going to find out over the next couple of weeks with some real testing. I have had, yes, I've had my JVC for just about a year now, and yes, it's more than a $6,000 or $7,000 projector. My initial thought, just based on what I've already seen and heard about this particular projector, my guess is going to be is that for someone who's getting their first projector, I'm going to say yes, it's going to compete with that. It's going to be a really solid option. No signal, tap. Okay. I'm going to imagine that sorry, I'm still trying to figure out how to get it on the screen. Okay, so signal source is going to be, I can't see it. Let's get the, sorry, I'm trying to do many things at once. I'm hoping to discover if it could be a replacement for someone who already has a $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 projector. Like if there's someone who, maybe has an older generation legacy brand Sony JVC projector, and it's time to upgrade, would this be an acceptable upgrade at a much better cost? And let's test it. So I can't, if the text that I'm trying to read is right on a speaker, it's trying to read HDMI 1. I'm plugged into HDMI 2. So let's see if this will do it. What's that say? All right. Autofocus in progress. I don't know how it's possibly going to do that. Okay, here we go. Nope. Autofocus. What's it say here? I could open the manual, but I'm sure you'd rather long press for fine tune. Okay. That's picture mode. Back settings. Let's find image correction, signal source. Oh, I think there's an Amazon truck backing up outside. I wasn't sure what that was. Okay, let's image correction. Focus, keystone. Here we go. Zoom and lens shift. Maximum size reached. So here we go. We'll get it on the screen and then we'll be able to tell. Okay to switch function. Arrow keys to move. Okay. Why? Image correction. Focus, keystone, manual. Image shift. Optical zoom and lens shift. Screen rotation. Wall color, screen restore, horizontal. We're in front projection. This seems very off considering it's straight on. Here we go, screen restore. There, that's, see? No, now it's going back to the ceiling. Projector type, front. This is digital displacement. It does have a lot of options for this. So let's move it down. Let's try this. Yeah, here we go. Centered. Now zoom. Here we go. We're getting it. Okay, now we're going to shift it over a little bit more. Now again, this is a CinemaScope screen. So the top and bottom will be cut off, and then I use the Lumigen for the masking. And that actually just reminded me I need to set the Lumigen up for the proper output. And that is going to be here. Sorry, I'm on my Ava Cinema remote. Let me reframe the camera now that I have the image on the screen. Okay. So now we go and we do memory C. Should be, oh, we're not seeing HDMI 2 yet. So let's do no, back. No signal. I know that. There we go. HDMI 2. See, we're getting there. Okay, so now we will go back to the settings and we will, wait, actually, let's get out of that. Now I'll make sure I have the Lumigen on the proper configuration. Maybe it's this one. $2160 HDR. Okay, this should be right. So I have my Lumigen by default set for a panel that is, I'm going to turn off the lights now too, now that we're getting closer to dialing in. My Lumigen is set for a 4096 panel versus your standard 3840 because the JVC has the that did a really nice job focusing automatically, by the way. So the Lumigen has a Sorry, again, trying to do too many things. I'll just do this and overshoot a little bit. The Lumagen the JVC has the 4096 panel, so I just had to reconfigure the Lumagen to output at 3840 instead of 4096, so that the projector wasn't required to scale. I'm going to also do something here on the camera so that you're seeing more like what I'm seeing. That's definitely not it. 6500 is, let me look on a monitor over here and see. Yeah, that looks pretty, it's not quite accurate, but it's good enough. I will make sure that we're 10 is max brightness. I'll make sure that the camera and stuff is obviously white balanced properly before I film for your review video, but picture mode, standard, movie. Let's see what this looks like. Eee, that's very, very red. Sports. Filmmaker mode. This is what I will do all my recording and testing on. You can see that that's also pretty red. Let me turn off the lights around the screen too. Let's go here. Home theater off. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I may have just turned everything in the theater off via Home Assistant. Maybe not. ISF day. So I don't know if these are coming through. Let's see what happens here. I don't know. Ooh. The Lumagen is obviously not sending the same color space as what this is expecting there. The fan definitely ramped up there as well. And I'll make sure that when I do the full review video that you're getting an accurate representation of what I'm seeing on both of these. So the image does look very nice. I will say that. It's very much brighter than it's, having lived with a JVC, this is 100% a light Canon. Oh, okay, so that's interesting. When you get to 100 contrast, it loops back around to 0. I'm guessing brightness and saturation do that as well. Yep. Boy. I can just say already, this is going to be an enjoyable projector to watch, whether, not MEMC. Let's do original frame. These are where I just was. So I do want to say, this is going to be a fun projector to play with. It's already, it just looks great. I think what I would say is it will see, we'll want to see how accurately we can get her dialed in, and then also make it, um, see how the blacks and everything compare at that point. So these are, they're off the screen right now, but you can see here too, the gamma, the Lumagen is outputting 2.4, local contrast. So this is kind of a dynamic. I can see here, maybe let me check a couple questions here. Um, minimum distance. Um, Curious if you'll see the rainbow effect. Shane Lee is going to keep it as a secondary projector only for 3D because of the brightness. I'm relatively sensitive to rainbow effect, so I'm curious about that as well. But let me go up here quick. So you can see where it's, look at that, it's just dimming right where my face is. So I'm gonna try to do this. Local contrast off. If you can see right here in the rings around the dark crystal, I'm actually seeing like those rings and the highlight parts are getting brighter. Nothing's necessarily getting darker, maybe. Well, maybe. This is bringing up shadow detail. I'm going to leave that off for now. Dynamic contrast. This would be, yeah, I'm going to leave that off for now. I'll test it, but I'm going to leave it off for now. I'm seeing noise. This could be because of where I'm standing and could be part of that processing. AI contrast, I'm going to turn that off. Dynamic black level enhancer. Let's see. Noise reduction. I'm going to turn this off. Yeah. And now we're at super resolution. But I'm not sure what their super resolution is doing. Looks like kind of an edge enhancement. I'm going to leave that off for now. I'll test all this stuff more officially once I've read through the manual and see exactly what everything's doing. I'm seeing seeing a little bit of pixel structure around text. Oh, I can definitely see that from this side. Looking at the creator, so it's just moving it feels like it's kind of doing a similar thing to what the gamma setting would do. Gamma's manual, color optimization. It's just kind of boosting certain colors. Color space is set to, we're getting color temperature, MEMC. What are our other options? Strong, medium, weak, off. That, yeah, that's what was showing me the noise in the blue of the kaleidoscape. I also think part of it was coming off of this. But like where I'm seeing it still is a little bit in the shadow, like the drop shadow across that yellow line. Yeah. Sharpness is a control. I generally leave at 0. What's it look like? Doesn't look bad at 0. I'll leave it at 50-ish for now. No, I'm not. Like sharpness is typically an enhancement that I'm not a fan of. Seeing a little fringing around, like on the JVC for the first 20, 30 minutes, and the panels are, still the convergence has to get back into the setting as it warms up. Seeing a similar effect here where I'm seeing a red fringe around the top of white text, and along the bottom. I'm wondering if that's one of my settings that needs to be changed, or or if it's something that yeah, it might be something that's just because of a setting that I have on here, and I'll dig into that deeper before the full review. 3D settings, game enhancements, style filter. I don't see that being a thing. Network, Bluetooth, sound modes. I'm hearing it beeping back there. I guess I haven't played anything yet. I'm not gonna be doing too much of an evaluation on the speakers of the projector, because that's why we have other speakers in the room. But let's see. That's actually really nice that it senses that I'm here and it turns it off and kind of follows me. That's actually one of the things that I find myself dealing with my JVC, is squinting when I walk past it because it's right in front of my face. So that's kind of a unexpected delight, maybe you would say. So I'm going to turn the audio all the way down. Again, I don't want vibration from these speakers, and you don't need to hear it at this point. I guess I could just hit mute, huh? Let's see. I'm just going to pull up some clips here. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, because it's really, really, it's brighter and bolder than my JVC. So I'm going to sit down here. I'm going to try and have the iPad here so I can see your questions and respond to stuff. Turn my brightness down so it doesn't affect it too much. Yeah, my head's going to be in the corner of the image a little bit. But I'm not triggering the AI mute thing, so we'll leave it for now. All right, let's see where we are on questions. Do I think it can compete? Minimum distance to screen. I will check in on that, and I'm curious if I'll see the rainbow effect. Well, I'm going to play something right now and see what that is. Let's do. Here's just that I can see. Well, I don't have all of the lighting in the room off. My glasses are also giving a little effect on the screen there too, because it's shining through the corner of my glasses. But like, here's the script that I've got going so far, that I'm going to be using and recording. Bad Boys Ride or Die, Ballerina, Blade Runner 2049, Zero Dark 30, Super Mario Brothers, Pulp Fiction, Deadpool and Wolverine, Dune Part 2. I also have Game of Thrones Dark Knight on here that I need to create a scene and put it into that script for testing. This has some good stuff in it. So let's take a look at a light cycle chase. So we'll see. That, what should be black right there, looks very green. The kaleidoscope is doing a handshake right now, and it's not liking it. Here we go. So it's just re-registering the EDID. So the first thing I'm noticing is I'm seeing the letterbox overshoot on the above and below the screen. Um, Again, I've not done any real calibration on any of this, so can very well be a matter of just the settings. Brightness is at 10 plus. Let's turn it down. Um, Iris, let's. I mean, that's definitely better. It's definitely not as bright. But it's a nice looking image. And I've not even like double tested focus. This is autofocus, and yeah, it looks pretty nice. Like when it did go to black, like that was very green. Um, so let's see here. Let's get back in here and see where we can adjust. So let's, oh, and okay. So I have not that's also going to be a problem. I have not completely created my Lumagen inputs as of yet. So this is still applying tone mapping that is intended for, or it's applying the calibration that is meant for the JVC, and it's also sending an SDR. It's tone mapping and sending it in an SDR container. So before I do my review, I will be normalizing my two Lumagen memory settings so that it doesn't do tone mapping. It sends the full HDR signal, and it doesn't have any projector specific calibration for either of the devices. So that's what you'll be seeing in my review. This is not going to be accurate in terms of image quality and calibration. But even that was better. And like this, I'm already, just from the changes that I just made, I'm not seeing the big green, the green hue in the blacks. So that didn't give me rainbow effect anywhere. Let's try this. I really like this scene. I'm also hoping handshakes can be faster than what that was one handshake. This is one handshake, and I'm guessing, like, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to play that exact same scene again, and I'm going to go